Hey folks, this is Ben Gessel. I know I'm doing a lot of videos here Saturday evening. I probably have made a video about this before, but if I have, I'm going to go about this a little bit different way. Hopefully it's informative. There is a nutritionist, a doctor, named Steve Blake, and I have one of his videos in my playlist, who is a vegetarian, and so a lot of this information will be from that general train of thought. So I'll be adding in my own more omnivorous thoughts here, so those of you that are omnivores won't be too offended. I don't think anybody's gonna be offended, but let's just go through this content by Dr. Blake here. This is the Vegetarian Society of Hawaii. Again, this is from the Vegetarian Society of Hawaii. This is back in 2011. Dr. Steve Blake, SC.D. I'm not sure what that means exactly, but he's Dr. Blake. So he has a book, a new book at the time, Vitamins and Minerals Demystified. If you guys want to check it out. And I'll be putting the link to the video in this video. So you can look for the link in the description. And you can see that you can look at the video. There should be a link in the description of this video. So as you know, this goes without saying, all you guys that know about this stuff, you already know about this stuff up here. He just starts out the video. I'm going to progress in this video by kind of going about all the material more or less in the way that Dr. Blake presents this information. So these are, of course, the foundation of nutrition: carbs, protein, fats, enzymes, vitamins, and minerals. I put these things in parentheses up the top right that are kind of implied things that are good for us in the body, but bioflavonoids, phytochemicals, and antioxidants we hear about a lot, but we just don't always, we know that they exist in plant foods. Anyway. And then, of course, water and fiber. Okay. So then he just mentions, sorry, a little shaky here. He just mentions the vitamins, what they all are, and minerals, which you guys probably know this already, but going through these guys a little bit, you can kind of see them, but if you want me to read them, I will. The vitamins are A, B1, which is thiamine, B2, which is riboflavin, B3, which is niacin, B5, which is pantothenic acid. Actually, B6 is pyridoxide. B7, which is kind of small there, B7 is actually biotin. So if you ever hear about biotin, that's actually vitamin B7. That's the same thing. Okay, folate is actually vitamin B8. So folate, vitamin B8. Folic acid, on the other hand, this is interesting. Over here, sorry about this guys, I'm jumping around here. Folic acid is actually vitamin B9. So we hear about folic acid and folate, and there's a lot of confusion there. Yeah, anyway. You should probably be getting both of these guys, but folate is, anyway, probably the more important of the two, but you need both. But yeah, more of that in a bit. Dr. Furman talks about that stuff quite a bit, so I recommend looking at Dr. Furman in that regard. Vitamin B12, which is in psychobalamin, which actually, vitamin B12 is psychobalamin, sorry. So that's all the B complex vitamins. There's a whole bunch of them. B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, B7, which is biotin, B8, which is folate, vitamin B9, which is actually folic acid, and B12, psychobalamin. Then you have the other ones. Vitamin C, which you guys know about quite a bit already, vitamin D, E, and then K1 and K2. He doesn't talk about K2 in his presentation. I've researched K2 quite a bit recently. So if you guys have any questions about K2, you can email me, but the research regarding the importance of K2 is ongoing right now. K1, or vitamin K, found in dark leafy green vegetables, is the one traditionally we know more about, basically. And then the body converts K1 to K2 and all that jazz. And by the way, in this particular video, if you guys watch it, it's going to be very in-depth scientifically, so you might be confused. You can definitely feel free to pause the video and ask me questions as much as I can help you, or I can refer you to other folks that would know how to help you more, even than I could. But yeah, he could this. So Dr. Blake goes into quite a bit of detail regarding the interconnectedness of all these different vitamins and minerals, and it was actually educational for me. I'm gonna have to review some stuff. It was pretty scientifically in depth. So all this stuff here, I'm gonna mention first the sources. Some of them, not all of them. This is not comprehensive, but these are the sources that Dr. Blake mentioned specifically that I'm going to mention here. But I can also tell you guys there are other foods that have these nutrients as well. And that being said, it should be noted. Sorry about that. It should be noted that it depends on the quality of the whole food we're talking about regarding the amount of some of these nutrients. You see, I'll go through all these guys here. It's the quality of the food. It's where it's grown. It's also like, there's so many other factors regarding how much of it you'll get. Is it processed or not? All that stuff. So, start with iron here. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention minerals. Sorry. Calcium, phosphorus, sulfur, magnesium. He mentioned those as the big four. Potassium, he doesn't really mention that, but we need potassium. I don't know, iron, zinc, copper, iodine, selenium, manganese, fluoride, molybdenum, molybdenum, and nickel, which is, anyway, we're getting to the really minute trace minerals here. Boron, chromium, beta carotene, which is kind of like a vitamin, but whatever, it's like you can break beta carotene, which is found in carrots and stuff, and sweet potatoes. You can break it into different parts for the body to digest. And he goes into a lot more detail there in that regard. Sodium, also chloride, silicon, cobalt, etc. Now, Himalayan pink salt, by the way, has a whole bunch of other stuff in it, which is supposedly really good for you and the body needs it. However, I was just researching this today, and Himalayan pink salt has extremely minute quantities, so minute that it wouldn't even show up. But extremely minute qualities of actually not so good things for our body. So the question is it good for you or not? Well, all I can say is treat Himalayan pink salt. Let me say this again. Treat Himalayan pink salt kind of the same way you would salt. And maybe just not get it a whole lot. It's probably, the hype is probably a little bit hyped up too much. So I got it once or twice before. Or I had a Trader Joe's Himalayan pink salt now. And I didn't really notice much change in health, really. It was kind of nice, but maybe a few extra minerals. But I don't think you need to spend anything extra for that stuff. So a little hyped up, in my opinion. Okay, now we get to now a lot of this stuff I mentioned already before in other videos. I have. So you can see some of my other videos in this regard, but here we go. Iron is found in dark green leafy vegetables, as well as you can also find heme iron in meat. But of course, this coming from a vegetarian, Dr. Blake is vegetarian. He's going to kind of downplay the animal food sources of these nutrients. That's okay. This is where I come in. I can tell you, of course, where I don't have this stuff memorized. I didn't have to look at this. I didn't have to look at this stuff at all. I just know that there's iron in beef. Right? There's iron in beef is first one that comes to mind, but certainly other meats like lamb and stuff. But you can get a lot of iron. You should get a lot of iron from dark leafy green vegetables, like salads and stuff. Steak and salad. You get plenty of iron that way. Okay. Vitamin C, fresh fruits and vegetables. It's no-brainer, especially oranges. I've heard that there's more vitamin C in broccoli and strawberries and kiwi fruit and some tropical fruits and things. Yeah, whatever. Dr. Blake just mentions oranges mainly. Whatever. So, but that's vitamin C. It's fresh fruits and vegetables. No brainer. Vitamin A, spinach. I also added in carrots. I didn't always see. I was kind of paying more attention to what he's saying rather than his slides in his video, because some of the slides, depending on how big of a screen you have when you're watching his video, some of the slides might not be very easy to see. So you can certainly find all this information in other websites. I think it's some of the additional information that he talks about that is very useful again in the video itself, but I'll at least mention what he's mentioned. Spinach. I also did, of course, carrots and vegetables in general have a lot of vitamin A. Now, he mentions that the animal sources of vitamin A are different, and they're not very good for your bones. They're called preformed. And a lot of folks, you guys tell me what you think about that. But what we're talking about dairy and eggs and stuff. And then, organ meats and things that have a lot of nutrients, but yeah. So, yeah. But vitamin A can also certainly be found in persimmons, anything with the orangey color, But yeah, a lot of vegetables and things. Zinc, nuts and seeds, no brainer there. As of course, meat and fish and shellfish have tons of zinc also, obviously. Vitamin B1, which is thiamine. We're looking at seeds. Sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, and grains. He always talks about whole grains, unprocessed whole grains. Dr. Blake is really adamant about not eating refined flour. No white bread. Now, a lot of us still eat white flours, white breads. He's not saying it's, as you know, it's not the end of the world, but it's going to not be a good thing for you in the long run. So I think when I was a little boy, I was used to white bread somewhat. Then I got used to wheat bread and so on and so forth. And then I just kind of dropped grains, with the exception of like rice and corn and potatoes altogether for the most part. They just had grains as kind of a occasional thing here and there, trail mix or just here and there, other stuff like that. But it's not really a big part of my. It's a very minuscule part of my diet now. But if you guys do eat more grains, make sure they're unprocessed. That they're whole grains, like oats in their real form. 100% steel cut oats. Wheat, like sprouted wheat, I know is different or whatever, it's weird, but like I think Bob's Red Mill and stuff like that, I think is a better way to go. It has to be 100%. 100%. The bread should look really dark and brown, and it has to be 100% stone ground whole wheat bread. If the bread you buy is if it's not Ezekiel bread, it's not sprouted bread, or if it's not 100% stone ground whole wheat bread, well, you're probably getting stuff that's more the pastry, and it's just, I suppose it looks healthier, but yeah. So he talks about this a lot later on. As I get to this, he talks about how these refined flours will interfere with some stuff, with nutrient absorption, or at least it'll have a lot of nutrients and not as much in the bread that it should be. That makes sense. Sorry, there's a lot of things to say here. Sorry. So generally, refined flour not good, but so vitamin again. Okay, I went over vitamin B1 already. Vitamin B2, right, which is riboflavin, right? Vitamin B2 is found in spinach, broccoli, Swiss chard, almonds, as many other foods as well. But yeah, I mean, I think if you guys aren't seeing the trend already, I think you'll see it very shortly. And there's many other foods, of course. Vitamin B2 is found in. Vitamin B3 is grains, chicken, or poultry, whatever, and meat, as well as many other animal foods. And niacin is vitamin B3. That tends to be kind of like your fuel food. There's other sources of vitamin B3, of course, but this one tends to be, again, a little bit more, my estimation, heavier into the meaty stuff. Imagine eggs might have a little bit too, but vitamin B5, which is pantothenic acid, spinach, sunflower seeds, and again, white flour is bad. And it has white flour is bad for so many reasons. It's bad for messes with B1. It messes with B5. As I put it here, as he was talking, Dr. Blake was talking, messes with B6. Yeah. So again, when you guys watch the video, you'll know what I'm talking about here. Vitamin B6 is found in spinach, cereals, which again we're talking about. Anyway, I know. As far as cold cereal, whenever I eat cold cereal, it's usually with my family or it's like vacations and that sort of thing. And we're talking about cereals like Crispix, that I tend to eat a bit more of. But yeah, I mean, like, there's certainly many other bananas that have B6. There's all kinds of other foods that have vitamin B6, but this is what he mentions. Again, this is all from Dr. Blake. Well, at least all the plant foods, the ones toward the left, at least, especially, he mentions. More on that later. So magnesium is found in spinach, peanut butter, sunflower seeds, grains. Magnesium is very, very important. There's some additional notes I'll show you guys here in just a bit from his video. Selenium is found in Brazil nuts, sesame seeds, and other nuts and seeds, as well as many other foods. Probably a few grains as well, a little bit, but mostly nuts and seeds and some other stuff. It's always some other stuff, you know. Chromium is found in grains, broccoli, green beans, grape juice, and nutritional yeast. Yeah, nutritional yeast. And Dr. Blake mentioned nutritional yeast has a lot of nutrients in it. So, take that for what it's worth. Vitamin K is found in vegetables. Now, I definitely know this beyond. Talking about K, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Kale, right? Kale has collard greens. These dark leafy green vegetables have a ton of vitamin K, as well as a lot of herbs, at least the dark leafy greens. But there's, as I mentioned before, it's still in other foods, but vitamin K you're going to find big time in vegetables. Vitamin B12, which is generally thought of as being in meat mainly. You can also get it in supplement form. But we're going to mention more about vitamin B12 a little bit later. But it's really the bacteria that we're looking at here with B12. I think bacteria is kind of gross. Well, in this case, that's where you find B12. More on that in a bit. Calcium is found in green vegetables. In my experience also, this is a little bit outside of his presentation, but it's also, you can find it in white beans, soybeans. I know there's a whole GMO issue with soybeans, and so you want non-GMO soybeans and all that stuff. Non-GMO soy. But it's navy beans, it's sesame seeds, dairy is in parentheses because Dr. Blake is not a dairy fan at all. And you also can find calcium in lower amounts in things like everything from oranges, and have other colored vegetables like carrots. It's in celery a little bit even, but it's in all kinds of stuff. And some of the ways I know about all this other stuff as I've studied the 100 Healthiest Foods website, which I showed you guys before in a previous video regarding some of these subjects and things. But calcium, yeah, it's in another reason to eat a lot of vegetables. Calcium is in navy beans. Calcium is, in lower amounts in strawberries and oranges. You can get that stuff. It's in a lot of stuff, but it's, green leafy vegetables and green vegetables. Crunchy vegetables, you'll have calcium. Okay, folic acid, green leafy vegetables, yet again, right? Iodine, seaweed, seafood, and I put in also eggs, right? Iodine is the sea stuff, anything having to do with the ocean. Vitamin E, nuts and seeds, especially sunflower seeds, and also vegetables. Vitamin D, which he didn't really talk about. Well, if he did, I didn't see what it was, but basically talking about getting some sun, going outside, getting sunlight. Plus supplements, of course, mushrooms, salmon, fish, and eggs, right? That's where you can get a lot of vitamin D from the sun and from supplements and a little bit from mushrooms and those other things. Now, there's other nutrients that we talked about that he didn't go into much detail about, like copper and manganese and molybdenum, which we were talking about beans and nuts a lot of times with this stuff. Nuts and seeds for copper, like peanuts comes to mind very quickly with copper. Did he mention oats with chromium? Anyway, I think it was, in addition to broccoli, oats is a good source of chromium. Anyway, so phosphorus and potassium and those those minerals tend to be in all kinds of foods. I imagine you guys are getting enough of those things already. Potassium is often found. The first thing you think of is things like foods like potatoes and bananas, right? Sweet potatoes, and also it's found in chicken and stuff like that. So all kinds of stuff. So and boron, I know apples have boron, but there's all kinds of other things that have boron as well. And like hazelnuts, I think. I don't know, other nuts, walnuts. So I mentioned you should be getting enough of these guys already. Yes, you should. So I imagine that Dr. Blake didn't talk about some of these other minerals as much because maybe that there was less of a concern that people that were watching this would be deficient in these nutrients. But you guys are probably doing okay so long as you're not eating primarily junk food all the time, right? I do mean all the time. Not getting very much real food. So my other notes here. Let's see here. Turning the page. To avoid colds, stay away from dairy and eggs. I eat eggs, just not. See, there's a reason why I don't have a ton of them all the time. I only have them, and then I go for a day or two or a little while. I don't have them, and I go back to having some of them. So I'm still eating eggs, but I don't eat dairy. Vitamin C is needed during colds. You need vitamin C so vitamin C can help you get over your cold. It's more helps with the symptoms rather than it goes away. But vitamin C can help. We all know this. This is pretty common knowledge, obviously. Vitamin A, protection, all kinds of sorts of protection. To have flexible skin, helps with your mucus production, and helps with. It goes into retinol, which helps you with night vision. We all know this. This is all for carrots, night vision, right? There's a whole bunch of stuff he talks about with vitamin A, though. And I mentioned before that he's not very fond of, well, this is a vegetarian, again, doctor. He mentions that, yeah, again, the animal sources of vitamin A can not be good for your bones. But, I don't know. You guys are going to have to watch the video I'll have to watch the video again to get more into it. But magnesium. Magnesium lowers the risk of cramps and spasms. The reason why that has to do with the fact that magnesium is the main mineral that helps you relax your muscles, right? Calcium is associated with magnesium because calcium helps you contract your muscles. So if you're bench pressing, working out, calcium helps you lift the weight, along with protein, all that stuff, right? Magnesium helps the other muscles. While one muscle is contracting, the other one is relaxing, right? So you need both of them. Magnesium helps you not have spasms. If you're trying to get to sleep at night, magnesium is what you need. You need magnesium. You need magnesium, and you need enough of it so that you're not going nuts. Like your body's not, sometimes muscles can just kind of go nuts, right? Cramp up and stuff. Okay. Folate lowers your blood homocysteine. Oh boy. Folate lowers your blood homocysteine levels. Yes, I know what that is, but I don't know what that is. I think it's just good for you. If you guys know what homocysteine levels means, please tell me, because I think I have a pretty good idea of what it means. And we're talking about just having your blood behave itself, and yeah, it's in that, for me, train of thought with. I'm just gonna go on here. Okay. Vitamin D fights cancer, along with it definitely helps you. The calcium helps you get the calcium to your bones, that sort of thing. So it's connected with calcium directly in that regard. We've already gone over how calcium constricts muscles, but calcium also is the main substance. It's the primary substance in your bones. So you need it to form bones. Okay, excess salt is bad for your bones. So don't salt your stuff too much. That's why Dr. Furman talks about salt in that way. Even though you have other people that say salt is good for you. Yeah. Excess protein is not so good for you. It can actually contribute to calcium loss. So if you're eating a whole bunch of meat, and that would apply to some people I know on YouTube, especially, not so much in my real life. Most people I know in life are omnivores. I know one vegetarian, at least one. But there's a reason why we shouldn't pig out on chicken and beef every day. Maybe one serving is okay, but past that, yeah. Okay. Vitamin E protects fats in your cell membrane from free radicals. Again, Dr. Blake goes into this quite a bit more. Vitamin B12 is made by bacteria, and microwaving meats, or that's what it destroys. It can destroy B12, and so it's yeah. So we worry about the microwave sometimes. What can contribute to what can are there nutrients that are lost when you microwave stuff? Well, this is one of them. So here's the good news. So the B12 is a nutrient that circulates in the body very well for a long period of time. It's not like it just immediately goes out of the body, right? So if you don't have a lot of B12, you don't have hardly any coming in from your diet, it's not the end of the world. Your body can hold on to that for quite some time. So vitamin B12 is made by bacteria, right? It's not like it's heme iron that's automatically in the meat. Yes and no. It's like, I don't know. So we sometimes think B12 it's just beef, right? The thing is that the reason why sometimes animal foods are great to eat, it has something to do with, so some animals can digest things better than we can, plant foods. So then when we eat the meat from that animal, we're able to kind of get something from that animal that we wouldn't normally otherwise get from plant foods. I know there's some truth to that. It's just the chemistry behind all this is quite a bit more complex. I'm aware of that. I'm kind of getting into in summary mode here, getting all this wrapped up. But the main thing is I want you guys to watch this video that I'm putting in the description and think a little bit about, I was going to mention, what are some of the things that you are seeing in terms of trends from all these, where you get all these nutrients that are very available for the human body to digest. We don't have to have excessive amounts of animal foods to get these things. Well, it's spinach and sunflower seeds, amongst other dark leafy green vegetables, that really seem to be very apparent here. But we're not eliminating onions here. If you guys are familiar with Dr. Furman, for instance, that's one of the parts of GOMS. Greens, onions, mushrooms, beans, berries, and seeds. And although he doesn't address berries here, berries have a ton of things that I mentioned in this top corner here. Berries have a ton of these things, bioflavonoids, phytochemicals, this stuff, which are really healthy for you, right? Onions, similar deal. Onions have a little bit of vitamin E and other things that, olives have vitamin E. Actually, avocados and olives have vitamin E. I think onions have a little bit of that stuff, but onions have other stuff that's really healthy for you. It's all on the Whole Foods website that I've made a previous video about, by the way. And then mushrooms, again, mushrooms have so many other things going for them in addition to vitamin D. It's not even funny. But my dad doesn't like mushrooms much, by the way. He's not losing out on too much, in my opinion. He's eating many other really healthy foods. But mushrooms are part of what Dr. Furman suggests, and then beans and seeds. I already mentioned berries are really healthy. Now, beans have a lot of healthy protein. You get a lot of healthy protein from beans, along with combining the beans with rice, that sort of thing. And although beans aren't mentioned as much in here, it's good to eat them because they are like protein and fuel for the body without too many much baggage, we'll say. That's on animal foods, which are tastier and complete proteins, but anyway. So, seeds, yeah. So I think we're kind of again wrapping things up here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me, or go right to the doctors. Right, I'm often talking about these subjects, off and on. But make sure to eat your leafy greens. I'll make sure to eat mine as well. And vegetables. Get some seeds in there. A little onion, a little berry. If you can spare a little bit of money for berries, and mushrooms, and all right. Again, this is Dr. Steve Blake, Vegetarian Society of Hawaii, 2011. His new book, Vitamins and Minerals Demystified. All right, I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Bye.